y'all, and welcome back to my channel. My name is T, and I love all things skin and beauty, and today we have another archive. Sort of an archive because I think this palette is still available. The previous palette that we did as well, which was Pat McGrath's Mothership 1 Subliminal, is also available. But now I want to dive back into Anastasia Beverly Hills, their palettes. You remember these palettes that they used to make? Like you had Sultry, you had Soft Glam, you had the Jackie Aina palette. And so I saw this in my collection. I was like, it's been a while since like I actually pulled this palette out. So I definitely want to play with the Norvina palette once again. I remember like when these started to come out, like these were so popular. This was when like, you know, ABH was really making their mark and really making these releases back to back, also to the point where it kind of started the whole like, you know, the factory vibe of, you know, makeup releases now, where like every single brand every single month was coming out with like new product. That it was like the beginning of, you know, consumer consumption, and how much palettes and how much different kinds of palettes that were similar that every brand was coming out with. It was just like under their brand, and definitely an overwhelming time, kind of like how it is today now. Now ABH started to go back and do similar palettes like this, where you have like them release back to back. I want to say that it probably wasn't as consistent as, you know, it previously was, but they definitely started to do similar eyeshadow palettes, like pretty much like this. But today we are definitely going to be playing with the Norvina palette. Also have the new Pat McGrath lipsticks that I definitely want to try out. I got 4, so I definitely want to try these out. I have Flesh 3, Divine Rose, New York Obsession, and I have Nude Dimension. So we have all 4 of these right now. Now she did have a lot of them, but it was kind of like hard to decide which colors I wanted to get, so I just stuck to, you know, the colors that I thought I was going to use or get a lot of use out of the most. So that's why instead of getting like all the, you know, the lip duos, I ended up just getting 4 colors, which I am satisfied with that. But other than that, it's mostly just, again, shop my stash. So we're going to just get started on this. Get ready with me, guys. All right, I already went in with my Lip Base Pro Primer from Lancome. And today I want to use the Haus Labs foundation. Going through my stash here. So that's what we're going to do for foundation. Gonna shake it up. They said like you need to shake it up really well, so that's what I've just been doing every time I've used this. And normally I go with 2 or 3 pumps. And we're just going to get started. I put it on the back of my hand and I just even it out, and then I just go right. I just, you know, start to use my foundation. I'm starting to like this shade more and more, so that's good. Definitely feels like it goes really well with my undertone, and also like my neck too, I feel, because it's not too light, it's just right. And with, you know, concealer and all that stuff, it looks pretty good. It also lasts all day. I went to the movies Sunday and I put this foundation on. And like I was, you know, eating food, like drinking, walking around, you know, the New York City and all that stuff. And I also went to see, I think it's called They Will Kill You, which I highly recommend, especially if you are into horror, scary movies, with a little twist of humor. Definitely gave that Kill Bill aesthetic. And if you want to see women kick ass, then definitely go see it. It's really, really good. But yeah, my makeup lasted all day. And normally it will start to like crease around like my mouth and where like my glasses tend to lie, so like around like my nose, my bridge. But it was fine. It was fine. So I know it has something to do with, you know, prep and, you know, obviously other products that I've used, but it lasted all day, which I was very happy about. Now moving on to concealer, going in with my Lancome Teint Idôle Ultra Wear. I'll probably use this brush here. I normally don't go for brushes like this. I typically go with the, you know, the brushes that kind of look like a little paw, little kitten paw. So we'll see how this goes. I just sprayed the brush down. Okay. Okay, this is actually a pretty good brush to use. Okay. I normally don't really go for this brush, but it is working, so that's good. Okay, and I'm just going to let everything kind of like sit before I go in with powder. And we're just going to move on with cream products. I'm gonna go in with the Danessa Myris Blurring Balm Powder Flush and Creme Brulee. I typically also like to use this as a bronzer, and then I go back in with like regular cream bronzer. Blush, and I am good to go. I use It Girl and Creme Brulee. This is like my typical go-tos when I go out, actually. I love It Girl so much. So we're definitely doing that. Again, I'm treating this as a bronzer. I love this color so much. The shade is absolutely amazing. And then all I'm gonna do is just go back in like so, just to get where my chin is at, my jawbone. Okay, now that that is done, we can then move on with It Girl. I normally go back in with like the same brush or like a smaller one. Today I'm thinking about going in with a smaller one. So I'm gonna take this Cindy Grace brush and we're going to use the, I think it's the F01 brush. Does it say what kind of brush it is? No, it does not. But yeah, it's this brush, it's this one right here. And I'm just going to take some of It Girl. And we're just going to place it kind of like on top, slightly above where I put creme brulee. Okay, now that that's done, then I think I gave enough time for my concealer to really do its thing. So we're gonna go in with powder next, going in with the Pat McGrath powder. This is the Skin Fresh Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder in Baby Pink. And I'm just going to take a fluffy brush. This is from the Nikila Rose and BK collection. It is the N20 brush. I also like to mix it with like the Hourglass as well, just because sometimes the baby pink shade can go pretty light, and I don't really like my under eyes to be too bright because I don't want it to be giving casket. So I wanted to take some of this powder here. Like so. And then also, because technically I can go over everything with my translucent powder if I wanted to, but today I think it's fine to not do that. Gonna go back in with powder all over where I put my concealer. And again, I'm mixing the baby pink with my translucent Hourglass powder. Like so. So far we're looking good. We're looking good. And so next, I definitely want to go in with my hourglass powder. I think I'm cool to just go back on top with my translucent powder instead of like a powder blush. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some of my hourglass powder. I'm going to take some on the top, slightly pat it down, because I also want this to be a little bit even. And then I'm going to start, oop, got a cat here. Okay, I'm going to start tapping on powder on top. And what I like about doing this with a translucent setting powder is that it's not going to take the blush color away. It's just going to like set it. Because like technically powder blushes don't really set everything in. You really need like a setting powder. I mean, it works, like, you know, but yeah. And then if anything gets lost, I can still go back in with powder or blush if I wanted to. Like I can go back in with Stella from, say, the Super Suede blush powders, because that shade goes really well with It Girl. Alright, and that's pretty much it. Now I could go back in, again, like I said, with Stella, which, let me see if I can find Stella. Alright, so Stella is a gorgeous shade from Say Beauty's blushes that they came out. It looks like this, and then I think I honestly have 3. So this is Amore. Ooh, I can go in with Amore. I think Amore would work better with It Girl because it's more on the pink side. So yeah, we can go in with Amore. But yeah, I have 3 of these, I think. I have Amore, Stella, and Gracie. And this is a nice formula. I will say that when I went, because like while I was out on Sunday to go to the movies, I did drop by at Sephora, and I noticed that like the Say Beauty bronzers are really popular because most of them were like gone. So that has me that's just telling me that, you know, maybe I should try their bronzers, because I wasn't really sure. And it's just because like the shade range I feel does need, you know, some work. It definitely needs some work, so I wasn't really sure on getting them, but I definitely am sure on getting the Rare Beauty bronzers. Just because like Rare Beauty so far hasn't really done me wrong, and I think they honestly have probably a better shade range. Ooh, yeah, I made the right choice for this to use a more. Look at that. Gorgeous. It's like a bubblegum pink shade. It's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. It's not ashy or nothing. Love that. All right, and then I could probably go in with my Dior bronzer because why not, right? Because again, like I said, I could leave it as is and just like, you know, move along instead of, you know, adding like powder, blush, and bronzer and stuff. But I definitely want to use some of my products a lot more. So I'm going back in with the Dior bronzer. One thing that I do not like about this bronzer is that it has a strong scent to it. Like it's very perfumey, which most Dior products are, but not really feeling it right now with this like bronzer. All right, now we are officially done with the base. I just have to add some eyebrow gel, do my eyebrows and stuff. And I'll probably go in with my lip too, because you know, might as well get that going. And then we can move on with the eyeshadow palette. So that's what we're going to do. And so let me go in real quick with my eyebrow pencil from LYS. I really don't do much with my brows, but I definitely think that when it comes down with some of these sales, I'm still contemplating on participating in the Sephora sale. And if I do, it will most likely be to get some of those product blushes. And I do want to try those out. Just like get the brands that are normally not on sale, I think is what the Sephora sale is really for. Because some of the brands are at Sephora and Ulta have their own sales too around this time. So Givenchy has 20% off. YSL had a sale. Fenty Beauty And so I'm kind of just like contemplating on whether or not if I want to go ahead and participate on the sale. But if I do, it would be only for that reason. Honestly, I shouldn't really be participating in the sale because I already have a lot of products. I'm going in with the Micole eyebrow gel. But yeah, like I don't know. All I know is that like I didn't get anything while I was at Sephora when I was at the movies because like again they're having a sale, and normally where Union Square is at, it's like very packed, and most of the stuff that they had, especially when I was looking at the Rare Beauty bronzers, I also was looking at the Haus Labs like contour stick that she came out with, and the bronzer from Say Beauty. The bronzer from Say Beauty, they didn't really have a lot, and I think it was because it's pretty popular right now. So there wasn't like, they didn't have my shade available of the bronzer that I wanted to get. But they did have the bronzer for Rare Beauty and the contour stick for Haus Labs. But then, you know, as I was waiting in that line, I was like, I really don't need to get this right now. I could just wait for the sale. So I put everything back. It's like, I don't know. If I don't, but also it's like, if I don't need it, then I don't need it, you know? So it's like, again, why should you be participating in this Sephora sale? So I don't know. I think I also need to get some of my priorities straight if I'm going to be for real with y'all. But so far, I mean, am I failing at my, I wouldn't even call it a no buy. I would just call it like maybe a semi no buy. But it's so hard, especially for like a makeup lover like me, an enthusiast like me. Like for example, I ordered the new Notoriously Morbid palette that they came out. They normally do pre-orders. This one is a pre-order. I don't know when exactly it's going to be shipped. It's questionable, but it's a pre-order, so it could come next year for all I know. That's just how Notoriously Morbid is. But I definitely think that my soft spot is indie brands, and I do want to continue to support indie brands, especially when their products are amazing. And you know, you only see indie brands really pushing the envelope anyways when it comes to new innovation and new products and things like that. Amazing color stories and formulas. So that's just kind of like where my heart is when it comes down to like who I want to support, who do I want to give money to. It's mostly just like indie brands. So there's that, but I don't know what to call this, but I'm trying to use my collection a lot more, and this archive series is another way to do that, to look at my old eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection and to just play around with it and remember the reason why I brought this palette in the first place. And so we're going to get started on Norvina. So let me see. I definitely want to go in with Passion, Volatile, and maybe Drama and Dreamer. So that's what we're going to do. Going to go in first with Volatile. It's crazy also because I still have this sticker on. I just noticed. I still have the freaking, I still have the little glass protector on here. I was wondering why everything looked so blurry, but I was like, I don't got my glasses on, but it's not because I don't got my glasses on. It's because I have that little mirror protector still on here. But I absolutely love this shade. It's coming back to me. Their formula is absolutely amazing, I will say. And this has been, I think this released in 2018. Just gorgeous. All right, do it on the other side. It is too early in the morning. It is too early in the morning for y'all to be blasting music like this. It is too early in the morning for y'all to be blasting music like this. Outside, are you for real? That's crazy. It is early in the morning. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, now I'm gonna go in with Passion. And I'm just gonna take this slightly above and use this as a transition shade. That looks good. I will say that, like, I think a lot of us were worried about ABH, but I think they're moving in the right path with the new releases that they're coming out with. So that's good. I definitely will say that I am done with eyeshadow sticks because I feel like I have a lot of them, but I can never get enough of the jelly eyeshadow sticks, similar to Danessa Myricks, and I think She Glam has like a couple of them, and another brand called Juice, I think is the name of it, and Naba Cosmetics also has some too, which I've been seeing a lot of Naba Cosmetics pop on my Instagram feed. Definitely want to try their eyeshadows and their jelly eyeshadow sticks. So that might come up soon, that like you can't find in like mainstream prestige brands, if I'm gonna be honest with you, because you know it's indie brands, it's indie makeup, it's always that way. So yeah. All right, now I'm going to get my glitter primer. All right, and I'm gonna go in with Passion. Like, oh my God. Passion is definitely a nice shade. All right, now I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to go in with Dreamer. I'm going to use like a flat brush and tap it. Like, are you kidding me here? It's like a Dreamer. And like, wait, do I need to do anything else? Okay, and then maybe go back in with drama just a little bit. Underneath as well. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now this does like call for like a little bit of a lash line, just a little bit, but honestly I kind of like it how it is now, if I want to be honest with you guys. Let me take some of this shimmer, this fallout. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go in with mascara. I'm using the Micole mascara. All right. And that is it. Now, next, I'm gonna do my lips. Let's see which Pat McGrath lip duo I want to go with. The Lip Sculpt in Plus Shade Contour Duo. So this is Flesh 3. Okay, this is Flesh 3. This is what it looks like. And how do I... Okay, I took this one off, but how do I get... Is it a twist? Oh, there we go. Lord. All right. Put those tops there. Okay. So, how am I going to do this? I guess I could do this here. Okay, so this is the liner here. And then this is the lipstick shade. as you can see. And I think this would honestly go well with the look. So let me just use this. So we're gonna go in with the liner. Also glad that I don't have to sharpen these. It really glides really well. It's not tugging. But it also feels like it could definitely last. That it has that staying power. Like you just know. All right, now let me go in. The reason why I got this is because it will look exactly like my lip color, but better. It blends really well. And then if I wanted to, I could go back in. With some liner, just a little bit. It's just gorgeous. Definitely a nice formula for sure. I like this. I like this a lot. And I can't wait to try out the rest of the shades. Definitely feel that this is a great shade for your lip, but better type of shade. And the liner choice worked really well for this one. Yeah. This is pretty much it, y'all. As you can see, definitely am loving the lip combo here. And I had so much fun going back in and playing with the Norvina palette and remembering Passion and Dreamer. And Drama, like that shade. Yeah. Gorgeous, gorgeous formula. Gorgeous color story. Yeah. Have no complaints with my look. I think I did pretty good. Let me know in the comments what other palettes I should play with. Should I play with Soft Glam, Sultry, the Jackie Aina palette? I also have some Natasha Denona palettes that I can play with, like the Bronze palette, the Xenon palette. So yeah, let me know if you have any ideas of, you know, what eyeshadow palettes I could pull from for this archives, especially holiday releases that are no longer available. If you are interested in some Pat McGrath as well, let me know. I can pull out some of the holiday stuff that are no longer available and play around with it, do a video, and having some fun with rediscovering my collection and my Pat McGraths that I have here, right? So let me know in the comments down below. And remember to love yourself, be kind to yourself, and love your skin. And I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.